Hey everybody, it's Beeman Smash here, and today I'm going to talk to you about starting up your first beehive and what options you can get for purchasing a hive. So what I have in front of me here is your basic beehive, and what it comes with is a veil to protect your eyes from getting stung, a hive tool, a smoker, and then a one-box hive, which is the outer lid cover, the inner lid cover, 10 deep frames, cell-right, hive box, and bottom board. So that's your basic. You're running anywhere from $200 to $250, and that's your starter. Your hive cannot go the full summer and into winter just with this. They're going to need to grow. So you're going to be upgrading. So the next step up from this is the standard. Your standard comes with a second box with another 10 cell-right frames. It's going to come with a jacket. It's also going to come with a set of gloves, and it's going to come with a queen excluder and a honey box with 10 medium frames. So that's what you're going to get for your standard kit. So this is what it's going to look like when you are producing honey. There's your two boxes, your deeps for your hive, for your queen to lay eggs in, and there's your honey box. That's pretty well the basic for a hive, for a beekeeper, for what you're going to need. You can upgrade stuff. You can upgrade the bottom board to a screen bottom board. You can upgrade the queen excluder from plastic to metal. You can upgrade your jacket to a vented jacket like this. You can upgrade your hive tool to a hive tool like this. You can upgrade your smoker to a larger smoker. If you've got more hives, you're definitely going to want a larger smoker. It's going to last longer for you. Okay, so this is the cell-right. It's a plastic celled inner frame of a wood frame for your hive. The reason why this is so popular is it already has, as you can see, it already has the pre-stamped shape of the honeycomb, and the bees just build off of that. Okay, it's covered, it's got a coat of wax on it already, just to encourage them, and they build off of it. It's not weak, it's very strong. So you're less likely to damage it. If it was just a wax, you could puncture a hole through it and stuff like that. This allows you to shake it out if you've got to knock something out. Also fantastic for your honey super, because if you're using an extractor, the cell-right's not going to fly out of the frame, just the honey will. Whereas if you had just wax, that's just going to explode. It's going to come ripping out of the frame. It can't take that force. So this is your best option for multiple reasons. That it's already pressed, it's pre-waxed, it's great for honey supers. Cell-right, it's what I use. I do make just straight honeycomb with an empty frame. If you do want to switch things out, it's a simple process. Just push on the cell-right, it comes right out of the frame like that. And you can put in an empty frame. They can make beeswax honeycomb that you can just cut right out of it if you want to eat honeycomb. But that's cell-right. That's the product I endorse. I think it's a great product for your hive frames. Okay, so I'm going to talk a bit about the individual items in the hive. So first off, we're going to talk about the hive box. So the hive box is made out of pine. It comes in 4 individual pieces. It's dovetailed. You can buy it as an extra already assembled. These come unassembled and unpainted. So you need to glue, nail, screw, prime, paint. A little bit of manual labor. You can buy them pre-built and pre-primed, and it takes a lot of work out of your everyday. It's already done for you. Okay. Then with the hive box, you've got your 10 frames, your cell-right frames, and now you want to get into them. So there's the 2 hive tools. This is the standard Hive tool, and this is a bit more, it's the one that I use. It's got a little hook on the end. And the reason why I like it is because when you're taking frames out, I can reach over, pry that one up, hold onto it there, and pull this one up. Now you see that? See where I grab it? I grab it on the outside. I don't move inside of the outside of the downward piece of the frame. I'm on the outside, in between the Hive and the frame. That's where I'm going to go. And this little edge, this little lip here, that's what it hooks onto the Hive frame beside the one that you're lifting out. There's a little prying point. They're sharp. It allows you to get in between the frames and pry them apart, separate them. Give yourself some room so that when you do open up this Hive and you do pull this frame out, when you've opened it that way and you pull it out, you're not risking damaging any bees or the queen or anything like that. You've given lots of room on either side of these frames for this one to come out. So they always talk about bee space. These frames are designed with a little lip on the frame. See those little lips on each edge? And what that does is when they're up against each other, that gives the exact spacing for bee space. So that's the space in there that the bees scientifically need to travel. Okay? So you want the frames up against each other like that. You don't want spaces. If you have them spaced out like that, they're just going to fill this little gap in here, and they're going to build comb into each other and cause all kinds of problems. So you want them up tight, just like that. Now when they're up tight like that, you can't take them out like that. You need to separate them. So they're in the Hive, they're up tight. Use your tool, get it in there, separate them. Okay, I often move the outside one right up against the outside wall, move the other ones to the other side. Now I've got lots of space. Take it apart. You can reach in with your fingers if you want. You can, if it's really sticky because of propolis, you can lift up the one side here, lift up this side here, you know, hold it. There you go. You can examine it, look at it, check out the other side, look at it, right? See how I turn it? Turn it on its edge. If I do it this way, you got more chances of things falling off. You don't want stuff to fall off. So if I take it out, turn it on its edge, and pivot it, I can then bring it back to look. Down, around, bring it back to look, and back in. Okay, now I have lots of room to access other frames. Often what I do is I'll take out one of these outside ones and I'll put it off to the side. And then I'll grab the next one, or I'll grab the outer one, or, you know, and I'll keep moving along. So I have lots of room in the Hive to work on each individual frame, inspect it. Done. Okay, so underneath your Hive box, you have your bottom board. Now I did discuss different types of bottom boards. There's really just two types. There's the screen bottom board for good ventilation, and then there's the solid bottom board right there. Okay, a little dirty, it's been used. So there's the solid bottom board, okay? Just solid pine, primed by myself and painted. And there's the screen bottom board. What this allows you to do is you can have less ventilation in fall and winter time, and also you can see what's fallen down into the Hive. So as you slide this screen out, you can see what's on it. There's a lot of details. I will go into more details about this later on, but you know, people put down oil to catch pests and mites and stuff like that. But it's not something I do. I find my bees are very good with the solid bottom boards. Okay, now we've talked about equipment, a bit of equipment. Let's talk about smokers. Two different size smokers, everybody. We've got a small one, we've got a big one. There are upper brands, you know, like the Ferrari type. This one here, the Dant, I think they call it. Daydant. This is just a standard smoker. The reason why you're gonna upgrade down the road if you've got more hives than two, is you want a smoker that's large enough that's gonna last, so that once you light it and then you get all set up and you get into your hives, you want something that doesn't run out of smoke, out of burning material before you finish your last hive. You don't want to take time to relight a smoker, get that all going. It's a little pain in the butt to get this happened. So smokers, what do I put into it? I put pine needles, pine cones, wood shavings, wood chips, bark, anything that's dry and will burn. I started off with cardboard. You can get fire starters. I don't use anything with paint or chemicals on it. That's not something I want to introduce to the hive. And then what I do is I'll use, bees love dandelions, so it seems to work pretty good, but I'll grab a bunch of dandelion leaves and I'll put it in at the top to stop the flames and turn it into smoke. The other thing too is it's going to filter it. You want to cool your smoke down a bit. If you can't smoke your arm without burning, then you definitely don't want to smoke the beehive, because you're just going to burn your bees. You may not notice it, but those little wings are very sensitive. You burn some wings off of a bee and it's no good to you anymore. So different size smokers, you know, a single or double hive, multiple hives. Now, jackets and hoods. You're in the summer, you're a seasoned veteran beekeeper, you may want just a simple veil, right? Hooks over top, under your arms, under your shoulders, screen here, good visibility, nice lightweight, ventilation. It's great. This is the type of thing that a beekeeper is going to wear, that they know they have gentle bees, they're not worried about being stung. Sometimes beekeepers are okay with being stung on your hands and your arms and stuff like that. They just don't want to be stung on their face. So that's the perfect item. You can wear a t-shirt, you can be nice and cool in the heat of the sun, yet protected on your face. Next step from that is a ventilated jacket. Good, it's a double layer, it's got a kind of honeycomb space in there, and it allows for ventilation. It's still warm in the summer, don't get me wrong. You will work up a good sweat working on your bees in one of these suits, even though it's ventilated. It's got the black screen, nice big hood area, good protection. It's got the elastic around the wrist, elastic around the waist, fully sealed. Once it's done up, you're not going to get a bee inside your suit. Fall time, this is what I wear fall, winter. Yeah, it's Canada, it can snow, right everybody? So this is just a cotton jacket, doesn't provide any ventilation. If you wear this in the summer, you're not going to last long before you overheat. But it's great for the fall. It's just a standard hood, but again, it has the elastics on the wrist, has the elastics around the waist. Once it's zipped up, it's totally sealed. So well protected. Gloves, there's lots of different gloves. I don't have the standard beekeeping glove with me. It comes right up your arm. I just use a regular leather glove, something that I'm not too worried about. You'll see bee videos where people are wearing latex gloves to protect their glove, so they can just throw them out. A lot of beekeepers will wear nothing. They'll just go with their bare hands, and that's fine. You just have to be careful with being stung, and some beekeepers, okay, they're not bothered about being stung. I don't like it. I find it interrupts my work, so I'd rather not get stung. So that's pretty well the equipment for you that you need to work on your beehives. There are other stuff like frame spacers, frame grabbers, frame pullers, belts. There's all kinds of stuff. You can shop, till the cows come home, and purchase all kinds of little doodads. I'm just talking about the basics. What you need to get yourself started to be a beekeeper. Remember, an urban beekeeper is a good thing. So, we'll talk about the hive. We talked about the frames. We talked about the cell rate. We've talked about the bottom boards. This is the queen excluder and the honey box. So that queen excluder goes in between your main box, your hive box, and your honey boxes. What this does is it's spaced specifically to allow honeybees to go up into the honey box, but not the queen. The spacing is too tight for the queen to move up there. So it prevents the queen from going into your honey box and laying eggs on your honey frames. Again, cell rate. So you need that. It's not to your benefit to allow the queen to lay her eggs in your honey super. Okay, so queen excluder. There are beekeepers that will disagree, and they'll say, oh no, you don't need one, just let the hive do what it wants to do. Well, that's difficult to be trying to harvest honey when you have eggs and larvae and capped brood in your honey box. So go eat safe and get easier on yourself. Get a queen excluder. They work really well. So you've got the queen excluder on top of your box, and then you've got your honey box on top of your queen excluder, and then you've got your inner cover. Again, there's a few different styles of inner covers, and you can shop and you can do some research. I just go with a standard inner cover. There's nothing so special about it. It works. It has ventilation at the top. It has a little entrance and exit at the front. Okay, so the bees can come up through the honey super and exit out of the front of the hive without having to go all the way back down. And then you've got your lid, your outer lid. So putting the lid on, straight down, and then slide it forward, okay? You want to slide that forward against the box, allowing this access and exit and entrance here, this hole, you want to leave that available for them to use. So that's why you slide the outer cover. I've got things in the way here. That's why you slide the outer cover right forward, all the way forward. So down, slide it forward. Make sure it's all the way forward, okay? Allowing for them to get in and get out. That's it. There's your hive. From bottom board to box, to queen excluder, to honey box, to lid. So you're gonna, I suggest that you get 2 of these. They run about $400. I know it's a lot of money, but you need everything that's here. The basic $200 setup isn't enough to go very long. Once they fill up that bottom box, they're gonna be outgrowing that hive, and they're gonna want to swarm. This allows you to let them grow in here. When they fill this honey box, you can take it off, you can extract the honey, put the honey box back on. You don't necessarily have to buy new honey boxes and keep stacking them up like a lot of beekeepers do. You can stay with the single. The other thing is, I know it's another cost issue, starting up being a beekeeper, is you need 2 of these. The reason why you need 2 hives is because you need to be able to compare one hive to the other. You need to be able to see if this hive is really booming and the other one's not. You have the ability to help out the weaker hive with your strong hive. You'll be able to see, you know, what the queen, if one queen is laying a lot of eggs and the other one's not, you might be able to figure that out. You can move honey over from one box, from one hive to another box in the deeps, so that, you know, they both have the equal amount of honey to go into their winter. So that's the suggestion. If you've only got one hive, you can't compare it to anything else. You don't know if it's doing good, you don't know if it's doing bad, you don't know if it has problems, if the numbers are there to survive the winter. So that's why. Go with 2. A lot of different options. Go to your local beekeeper shop. In Durham, I use Dancing Bees, Bee Supply. You can go to their website. You can contact them. What you should do is get somebody close to you, someone who really knows bees, to help you. You can take workshops at certain bee companies, like Dancing Bees. They have workshops. You see it on the website. Or just continue following my videos, and I'll be able to walk you through the basics of beekeeping. I just want to show you what it requires, what you need to start off to be an urban beekeeper. Okay, 2 deeps, 40 or 20 frames of cell rate, and then a 10 frame medium honey super with cell rate frames in that, queen excluder, inner cover here, outer cover here, bottom board. That's it, you're good to go. We're done. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for watching Bee-Man Smash. And again, check out Dancing Bees. They're a great company. That's who I use. They've got great courses, great prices. They deliver, and they sell nukes, they sell queens. They've got it all. One of the biggest suppliers, great people. And if you have any questions about bees, they have beekeepers there that's so knowledgeable, and they can answer any of your questions and help you out. They really want to encourage you to be a beekeeper. So do I. Again, the link's below. Thanks for watching. Be good to your bees. Bee-Man Smash. I'm out.